Welcome back to another episode of Four Down Territory. My name is Miles. Alongside me, as always, is Sam. This week in the NFL, Sam, it was the week of big players getting injured, wasn't it? There was two massive ACL injuries that have definitely taken the headlines of this weekend's game, that being Patrick Mahomes and Micah Parsons. It ruins the Chiefs' playoff push. They're now officially out of the playoffs, Sam's. But the Packers are still alive. They're still in the hunt. The Bears are currently winning the NFC North, but they've still got to play each other. They're still all in the hunt.
Yeah, lots going on. Very depressing week in that respect with the injuries. You know, it was quite funny actually watching the Chiefs. You know, Gardner Minshew throwing that interception, knowing the Chiefs' playoff hopes were done, and I felt sad. And I turned to my guys I was watching it with. I was like, why am I sad right now? Like, I can't believe like, this isn't, you know, go down fighting. Like, it felt like you know, I didn't like how that game ended, and I really felt bad for the Chiefs. And I was like, I can't believe I'm here feeling sympathetic for a team that has been to the playoffs the second longest streak in history.
Exactly.
Like,
It does mean that Mahomes is currently he's matching Tom Brady with the stat where he's never taken a snap where they've been out of the playoffs, which is you know, that stat will live on, which is a bit suspicious, but very like really weird coincidence how he's just following the path of Brady. I mean, Brady only missed one season, but that was his ACL year, so very, very suspicious how that's working.
And obviously, like you said, Micah as well. That's really sad to see because, I mean, like Myles Garrett's obviously Defensive Player of the Year, but if there was a Defensive MVP award, and we talked about that value and that thing about how the value that's brought to the team because of it, I think Micah would win that. I think Micah, the way he's changed that Packers defense, we're about to see just how good Micah Parsons is by having to watch the Packers defense without him, how much of a difference he makes. I mean, if the Packers defense is still balling out, then we can say, hey, it was just a great defense getting an extra player. But I feel like we're going to see, I'm not saying the Packers defense is going to fall off a cliff. I think it's still a very good defense around, in every other position. But I think we're going to see how he transitioned a solid defense into.
He was the biggest game-changing addition of this offseason. That's what made the Packers so good this year. I think, unfortunately, it will expose Rashawn Gary a lot, and how they're going to have to now rely on him, and he's just not going to be able to compete with the production that Micah Parsons has had already this season. So, it's very unfortunate there. Let's dive into usual tradition, Sam. Give me your stat of the week, please.
Yep. I actually had this one sent in by a friend of the show. We had Jackson Dart. He's been evaluated for a concussion in 50% of the games he's played in this season, which is almost what we expected in some ways, I suppose. It's funny when he came into the starting lineup and we had the whole joke with him and Scatterbo being like the two meatheads brothers that just love playing old hard-nosed football, and that's exactly what's been going on. But it's funny, he had an interesting response to it. I wish I'd watched the video, actually. I'd literally just scrolled past it right as we were about to start recording, and he basically said that like people were too sensitive to, you know, quarterbacks coming out for a play or two after taking a hit. I think I think he's quite authentic in the fact that he's a football player. Just because quarterbacks are supposed to be protected, he's there to throw his body around and take hits, deal punishment, take punishment, whatever, which you can respect, right? But he does need to look after himself.
I respect it, but there's a time and a place for it, I think. I don't think, you know, he will dive headfirst into a tackle, which is it's fun to watch at times, but then you're also putting your own team in jeopardy, and I think that is only going to come back to bite you. Let's talk about Mr. Carl Pitts. Let's talk about Mr. Carl Pitts. Be done. Career day it was. My stat is that Carl Pitts hit the most PPR points by a tight end since 2000, which was really cool. The only 4 tight ends ever above him is Kellen Winslow.
I was going to say, can I have a guess? Because Kellen Winslow, I know, was one of them.
So
or maybe even two of them.
He was
2 of them. Yeah. And the other one, I wanted to say Brock Bowers.
It's not Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers hasn't had a plus 45. No, it's pre-2000.
Pre-2000, of course.
Two players pre-2000.
I'm going to go, I was going to say Mike Ditka.
Mike Ditka is correct. 1961. And then last one, I'll give you the year, 1996. We should give it.
Not Shannon Sharp, was it?
Shannon Sharp is correct.
Yeah, there you go.
And that's just baffling. I mean, he got 166 yards, his best by far, 3 touchdowns in a game. And then the most receiving yards by a tight end before turning 26 years old. Obviously, Rob Gronkowski is number one with 4,379. Kyle Pitts is fifth currently, but he's still got another whole year to go until he turns 26. And he's only like 900 yards behind. So there's a chance that he beats Rob Gronkowski's record to that title, which is crazy considering how much controversy Kyle Pitts has been brought upon with the 4th overall pick. That being a tight end, he's meant to be this generational piece. And if you look at that Thursday night game, he certainly was.
It is really funny just seeing how the like stats that came out after his performance. I was just trying to find it, but there's something about was it like he got 5% of his
7% of his career yards or career fantasy points.
Points, yeah, in one game.
It's incredible. He's done such. I mean, look. We know that's the athletic talent that we saw at Florida. Yeah. That's the reason that he was taken with the number 4 overall pick. We want to see that more often from him and have these, this production.
That's the question. Is he going to build off this? Do you think?
I really hope so.
Yeah.
I really hope so.
We're all
one being a Florida fan and seeing him have that success in college was amazing. But it's been sad the last 4 seasons and seeing what he's done. And he's coming into a contract year or a 5th-year option decision to be made. So it'd be interesting to see what actually happens with Kyle Pitts and if the Falcons do put that trust in him and spend the big money for that a tight end position that's basically a wide receiver.
You can't help but feel like if he walks elsewhere, some team could really go all in on him with like a decent contract, but all in on the scheme and saying,
absolutely,
we know this guy is good. We just need to get him the ball. Sometimes it feels like the Falcons aren't doing enough to make him a focal point and get him the ball and give him these opportunities to show off that athleticism like they did this week. So if there's a team out there that is willing to take that shot on him, I'm interested to see what he can do elsewhere.
Yeah, just go pure vertical threat with offense. That'd be awesome. We may as well keep on that topic, Sam, because the Falcons got away with one, in my opinion, with this win. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should have had this game wrapped up way earlier than what it led on to be. It finished the Falcons 29, Buccaneers 28. Came down to the last second field goal to win it. It was how first of all did the Falcons recover the fumble that was caused on Kirk Cousins right at the end? It was like a couple of minutes to go in the game when there was like 6 Buccaneers bodies around the ball and one Falcons offensive lineman came out with it. Very suspicious, but hey, the ball obviously doesn't lie because the Falcons come out and win.
It's one of those things where I think, offensive linemen, for one, don't get praised enough. We know that. And it's nice seeing them get the praise for, not allowing sacks, not having these penalties, blah, blah, blah. I think one of the biggest things that we underappreciate as NFL fans is seeing an offensive lineman recover a fumble and knowing that the play is not over. And whether it's them following the play downfield and recovering one downfield, we've seen it where a guy gets past the sticks and it's like 15 yards downfield and then the center appears out of nowhere to jump on the ball just because he followed the play, didn't give up on it. But that essence of, like your quarterback's been sacked, pockets completely collapsed, and having the awareness. Because how many times have we watched the ball fumble around the pocket and you've seen linemen just doing this, going, where's the ball gone? And completely like not being able to locate it. And it's huge from the Falcons lineman to get on the ball and save the drive to then obviously carry on.
I mean, it was the exact same scenario as what we actually saw. It's all them Buccaneers players, and about 3 of them dived on it and all just squirmed out just to a different player. Yeah. Like you said, the amount of times you see that happen in the NFL is astonishing, and the fumble drill really does need to be included in all training drills, doesn't it? But looking at the Bucs, they obviously had a massive let off with results further on in the week. They still lead the division by the skin of their teeth, 7-7. Again, it's going to come down to the 2 games against the Panthers for them. Falcons obviously eliminated. So for the Buccaneers, you look forward to. I think if you split the games, you still have the tiebreaker over them. So that would be very interesting to see how that plays out. It's going to be. That I think they play the home game last as well. So if the Buccaneers do win that last home game, that basically guarantees playoffs for them.
Yeah, I mean, we've said it for a while that those 2 games are going to be the big one. So looking forward to it because I believe the first one's this week, right? Is that?
Yes, yes. First one is this week
in Carolina. Opportunity for whoever wins that game to take the upper hand and get themselves, leading the race. I think at the end of the day, we don't expect either NFC South team to make it very far in the playoffs, whoever gets there. But, it's not about that. It's about getting yourself into the postseason and seeing what can happen from there. And I tell you what, on the Bucs front, we talked a lot about how they just don't seem to be healthy. Nice to see Mike Evans back out there, wasn't it?
Yeah, really good.
And 6 catches, 132 yards. I feel for him. At the end, he was mad, wasn't he? You seething on the sideline.
You can imagine that.
And you can understand, because it's probably been a very frustrating year for him. And if there was one way to lose the streak, you want to be able to have a go at it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the worst part. I think if he comes back next season, plays a full season, 1,000 yards, I want to have an asterisk next to his streak and have full seasons played, or like min 14 games or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know, because obviously missing all the time he was never going to be able to get the streak. No, there's not a single player that would. So I feel for him. I hope that he can get back to 1,000-yard seasons next season.
It's funny you say that, because obviously there's some younger players that have started that streak. I know that Justin Jefferson's one of them that's had 1,000 yards ever since he's been in the league, and he's really obviously the last few games he's been really struggling. He had like 2 catches for 18 yards this week, and I think he needs 150 yards a game to make it. I
was going to say
it's a long way to go for him to get it. Yeah. He's on 832, so he needs 150 and in the last 3 games to get it. But by his current rate, he's not going to get it. So
I didn't realize he was
really close. If he continues the streak to get in the same conversation as Mike Evans, it'd be really cool to see. Let's move on, Sam. Let's go to the Chicago Bears. Surprisingly, I'm not going to bring up 1 point from the Chicago Bears. The main talking points are the Cleveland Browns, because Myles Garrett is 1 sack away from tying the all-time sack record. And I saw a great stat that Myles Garrett, obviously he's half a sack, behind TJ Watt and Michael Strahan for the record. Myles Garrett has been on the field for 437 pass plays this season. Strahan was on the field for 567. And TJ Watt was on the field for 618 when he tied it. And that's how good of a season Myles Garrett's had.
And so this is my thing as well. As there's just a huge narrative as these players get close to breaking season-long records that we have to asterisk it with the extra game. He's going to do it down a game.
He'll do it, yeah. Down,
if he does it next week, he'll be down 2 games. Mm-hmm. If he does it next week. And now we're saying that he's down pass snaps, which means that he's getting less opportunities to get those sacks. And obviously it makes sense because the Browns are always losing games. Teams are running the ball more. But, obviously he hasn't broken the record yet. Can't jump the gun. We're assuming that he gets his sack next week. We're talking about one of the most, if not the most dominant season of all time from a pass rushing player.
I honestly think if he wasn't playing for the Cleveland Browns, people would be saying it is the best defensive season we've ever seen. And there's no argument in that. You can't go out and get 23 plus sacks in a season and not be in that conversation. He's having a phenomenal year. He's definitely got his toughest task yet. The Bills' offensive line is obviously very strong. I think before that, the only 2 ranked higher ones are the Broncos and the Packers. So, and he's already played the Packers this season. So, if he can get a few sacks against Green Bay and how good their offensive line is, let's see if he can do it against Buffalo as well. That'd be a really good way to finish the season and break the record 2 games early. That'd be really cool.
It would be good. Funny note on this game with the Browns as well. I noticed that the leading receiver was Isaiah Bond, even though he only had 2 catches. It's nice to see that the deep threat of Isaiah Bond. Yeah, exactly. He's transitioned to the NFL well in that respect, hasn't he? And Shador certainly has a good relationship with him, just like he does with Harold Fannin.
Speaking of Shador, I saw the Pro Bowl votes come out. He's currently the 10th ranked quarterback in the whole NFL.
Which I believe is ahead of Bo Nix.
He's ahead of Bo Nix, yeah.
Hilarious, man. I'll tell you what, he's a popular dude, isn't he?
Yeah.
People love him. The people love him.
I still need I want to see him win a game at home and the whole crowd go mental and him holding up the wrist. It's going to be so cool to see when that happens. It's
going to be like when you go to a concert and everyone turns their torches on. Just the entire stadium.
It's like that.
That would be so good. But they're gonna have to get like like the Coldplay thing where they get the wristbands, and the Coldplay's concerts they have wristbands that light up.
Everyone's
gonna need to do that with the Browns,
watches,
don't they? Light up watches. Oh dear me!
I would love to see that. Like a prime time night game, and you see that flashing around the stadium.
I'm sending an email to Cleveland right now. Let them know.
They need to get on that.
I got some money ideas.
Sam, let's talk about your Ravens. 24-0, a shutout against Cincinnati in Cincinnati. I can't remember which pundit said it, but accountability needs to be put on Joe Burrow. 2 interceptions. You're throwing the game away too many times. It's happened against Buffalo again. You're meant to be one of the one of the top 5 quarterbacks in this league, but he's not living up to that hype. This is 3 seasons in a row that the Bengals are missing the playoffs.
I think it's interesting you say that because he did take accountability.
He did.
I don't know if you've seen he said there's 31 other teams that would or 30 other teams that would have lost today if I was playing quarterback for them, which it hurts to hear, man. Like, it's quite sad to see someone being so he's obviously disappointed. I even saw today some talk about how he doesn't seem to be enjoying his football. He's quite cryptic with the way he said it. I don't know if you've seen what he said, but it was along the lines of like needing to evaluate
he's not having
how much
fun.
He's enjoying. Yeah, he's not having fun, and I guess obviously it's related to the injuries and the playing on a team that's losing games. And it brings us back to the Andrew Luck comparison about early retirement. We hope that that's not the case, but maybe he'll go. Maybe we could see him going elsewhere. Maybe he's fed up with Cincinnati, but I kind of doubt that would be the case. But you never know. But yeah, it can't be understated. I know the Bengals are a 4-10 team, but it can't be understated how big this shutout is for the Ravens defense after everything they've had going on this year.
Yeah.
I mean, not just a shutout. I was going to say what's it called? A shutout shield, which is where the defense scores more points than the opposing offense. Because obviously with the pick,
I've never heard that term before. That's pretty cool.
I know. It came out. John Harbaugh said about it in his presser, and
that's really cool.
I think he's big on it because I've heard him say it before as well. It rings
shield.
I think it's called a shutout shield.
Now I want to see like the history of shutout shields and how many there've been.
Well, I know the Ravens have had. Have the Ravens had 2? Oh no, we've had more.
Not I can't shutout remember. Shield. I wonder what comes up.
Yeah,
shutout.
But on the subject of defensive touchdowns, that the pick that's an interesting point we made actually. Is it still regarded as a pick 6 for Gilman? Because it wasn't Gilman that picked it. There was a pick and there was a 6.
So I think Van Noy gets credited with the interception, but then all the return yards go to Gilman, and then obviously Gilman gets the interception return touchdown.
Right.
Or is it then return touchdown?
That's the thing, isn't it? Whether it counts as pick 6 or not. I feel like it's just a defensive touchdown.
Check? I don't think his box score will show it, but that'd be pretty cool if it did just count as a return rather than.
Well, I'll tell you what. The box score here has Van Noy 1 interception, 11 yards. Gilman 0 interceptions, 84 yards and a touchdown.
It just says touchdown. I'm trying to see if it's like a return touchdown. It literally just says touchdown. So that'd be pretty cool if it counted as a return touchdown. But I mean, what a heads up play it was, just to know that I'm an old man. I'm not going to run that whole way. Give it to the young buck, and he's going to fly down the sideline. That's just such a heads up play for Van Noy. And talk about a team that needed it. It was the Baltimore Ravens. If any team needed a bit of help from their defense, it was them. The defense hasn't lived up to the expectations that we had at the start of the season. This game they certainly did. It's about time, and they've started to put pressure on the Steelers. It's going to be a good run in. There's still chances for the Ravens to make the playoffs, and I know you'll be hoping for that to happen, Sam.
Well, on that, we currently have 3 paths to make the playoffs. Option 1 is just winning out 10-7. Obviously the least likely, needing to beat the Packers, Patriots, and then the Steelers. Option 2 is beating the Steelers and then beating one of the Packers and Patriots, and then having the Steelers lose to either the Lions or the Browns. And then option 3 is beating the Steelers, losing to both the Patriots and Packers, which is kind of what we like. That's, I imagine, if we were going to go off odds and favourites and whatnot, that would be the most likely to happen, would be us losing those games, those tough games to New England and Green Bay. If that was to happen, we would need the Steelers not just to lose to the Lions, but to lose to the Browns as well. Yeah. So it's still looking like a bit of a long shot. I think the way I see it now is we have to beat one of the Patriots or Packers, which is what I said last week. Wasn't feeling very good about it last week. I tell you what, this week, knowing that there's no Micah Parsons to face anymore, and seeing the Patriots coming off a loss to the Bills, I imagine the Patriots will be fired up as hell going into this week. I can't lie. I'm pretty sure it is this week we play the Patriots.
Yes, it is. Yeah. You've got Green Bay the week after.
I almost am not a fan of it because I think the Patriots will be coming out firing. But we can hope that maybe that it would have shaken their confidence a little bit and we can capitalize. But yeah, I don't know.
The Patriots also need to win to keep their hopes alive for their number 1 seed.
That's right. Yeah.
So they will be
So
fine.
much to play for.
Yeah.
Opposite ends of the playoffs.
Very
seeding,
true.
yeah.
Very true. Let's move on, Sam. Let's talk about the Chiefs charges very quickly. Obviously, it will be the main talking point is Patrick Mahomes. Torn ACL out for the season. Will miss part of next season. I did see a stat of here's a good bit. ACL Recovery Club. There have been 30 torn ACLs so far this season. This is the lowest number of ACLs so far since 2013, which is pretty cool. When this account started actually monitoring how many ACLs have been torn in the NFL. The highest in that year was 63, which is it's a crazy amount.
63,
yeah, but 30 is by far the lowest since then, which is really good. But still 3 weeks to go. Since then, 2019 was the lowest at 34. And you look at some of the names that have torn their ACL. You've got Micah Parsons, you've got Patrick Mahomes, you've got Tyreek Hill as well. There's so many of these big names that have torn ACLs.
Teddy Buchanan.
I mean, the biggest name of them all, Sam. The biggest name of them all.
I'm devastated for him.
But you obviously look at the start of the year and the discussion of turf and whether that should be used. Both of these ACLs were torn on grass this week, weren't they?
Yeah.
So how good is grass?
Well, I mean that's going to be the big question. And obviously, I think it this week or last week we had a conversation between the NFLPA and teams saying that there is now going to be a registered list of playing surfaces that teams are going to have to move to by, was it 2027? I think I can't remember, 2026. I think it was 27. But yeah, so it makes it feel like the NFL maybe starting to crack down on the turf that's just a slab of fake grass on a piece of concrete. Which is nice. But it does show that it does still happen on grass because it's such a intense sport. So at high speed, you think these are basically freak accidents that are going on.
Both non-contact injuries as well this week.
Yeah, it was always
Mahomes was the hyperextension, and Micah Parsons was literally changing direction. We'll obviously get onto that, but I kind of you've got to talk about the game itself. The Chiefs never looked like they were going to win this game. They were struggling from the very start of the game. Nick Wright actually came out today and admitted that yes, I realised the Chiefs weren't going to make the playoffs at halftime. I said, it's taken you since week 15 to realise that. It's quite impressive. But it never looked right for them. And obviously when Gardner Minshew came in, that was never going to change anything. I'm excited to see Gardner Minshew for the last 3 weeks. It's been a long time. Yeah, it would have been brilliant. Imagine if Gardner Minshew carried them to the playoffs, it would have been fantastic. But I'm excited. It's nice to have him back in the NFL and see some Minshew magic. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, we do love him. He's such a good personality. It's nice to have him on the field again. But it's interesting for the Chiefs because we had a big narrative coming into the year, didn't we? Where we talked about the future of the dynasty and the fact that all of their free agents and the cap space issues, didn't we? We said, gosh, so many people to re-sign, not enough space to re-sign them all. So, they worked the cap. They got the people back that they needed. But it's interesting to see how this compounds onto the future. And everyone's obviously already starting the conversation. Are the Chiefs dead? Is this the dynasty over? If my take on it, I haven't really looked into, like I said, the future contracts and stuff like that. Currently, as of right now, obviously, it as long as they've got Mahomes and Andy Reid, they're going to be fine. Yeah. But it is worth noting that Chris Jones and Travis Kelce are your two cornerstones of your offense and defense. Chris Jones less so, but Kelce, is he coming back next year? This kind of seemed like it would be it could be his last year.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't, especially when going into next season, he's going to miss Patrick Mahomes for let's say probably till October next year. He's going to miss the first 2 months of the season, and obviously on that contract bit, the Chiefs are currently $43 million over next year's cap, so they've got some reworking to do. They'll easily get around it. But yeah, it's pretty it's pretty worrying. You want to be aware of that, and you look at. Some of the contracts, obviously Patrick Mahomes' salary just keeps getting moved on each year, but Juwan Taylor takes up $20 million and he has been performing to the standards that you expect. Travis Kelce takes up $10 million. They'll easily move money around. And then obviously Chris Jones at 15. So they'll find their way. But it'll be interesting to see what moves they make, especially.
it's helpful really that they're actually sat with a decent draft pick at the moment. You know, as of right now, they're 12th overall,
and they're only going to get lower.
Yeah, I mean, well, you say that, but when you look at the teams below them, I'm not sure how many. They've lost schedule. They've got to play the Broncos and they've got another tough
Broncos,
one
Titans, and Raiders.
Okay, never mind.
Minshew could get 2 wins.
Yeah, and that'd be nice for him, wouldn't it? But yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see how they can use that draft to restock the team. They've obviously made the statement this week that Pacheco isn't in the future plans, which we expected, didn't we? We kind of knew this was going to be the case. They want to invest in running back, which is interesting. Whether that means signing someone, whether that means drafting someone, we'll see.
That all comes from this season, though. You look at this 100%. Chiefs teams and how they've struggled to establish the run, and you look at other successes across the NFL. Let's take some load off Patrick Mahomes, especially that he doesn't have an ACL now. You need to, take some weight off this guy's shoulders, and have a consistent running game. And you look at losing Joe Tooney, I think that's the biggest loss of their whole season, because he was the cornerstone of this run game, and they haven't been able to establish that without him this season.
How about Jeremiah Love to the Chiefs, Miles? How would that reignite that run game?
Imagine that. That would be scary. I don't like that in the AFC.
Yeah.
No, thank you. No, thank you. All right, let's move on, Sam. Bills Patriots comeback win for the Buffalo Bills. The vomiting Josh Allen on the sidelines gets.
I missed that. Really? Oh my gosh! Yeah.
So he, Josh Allen. He said before that he normally throws up before games.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
The nerves just got the best of him in that game, and he was just like, "I've just got to throw it," and he did it on the sideline, which was pretty weird to see. A star player like that feel nerves, even in a regular season game. But it's the division on the line.
Yeah, it's huge, wasn't it? And not just that; it's just the division. It's the potential, 1 seed, really. When you think where they are, so much to play for in that game, and the Bills came through in the second half. That's for sure. It was very, very tale of two halves kind of game, wasn't it?
It was. I mean, the Patriots started what was it, 21-0 up or something at one point? I was like, this game's over and done with. Bills find their way back into it, establishing the run game. James Cook, fantastic, but just distributing the ball around to every single player on that offense is what the Bills do so well. They are the complete mesh concept. Like merchants, you watch every single pass play has like double crossing routes just going the other side, and it is normally just in a mesh concept with trying to think, is it Ty Johnson? I can always get them
Ty
confused.
Johnson's the running back.
Is it Ty Johnson or Ray Davis? I think it's Ty
Johnson's the receiving.
Yeah, it's Ty Johnson. He is the receiving back for them, and he's brilliant on those mesh concept plays. If you can go through the film, definitely watch it, because they disguise it in so many ways. They do a brilliant job, and it's how Josh Allen operates as well. He's brilliant in that environment.
They have some weird formations, don't they, as well, with the running back split out wide, like in the backfield, but out in the slot.
Yeah, he's like far away.
Really, they run that so often, and I think I don't know, but it feels like one of the few teams that does that, but they do it really effectively. We had quite an interesting conversation this Sunday amongst me and my friends, where we were saying we were talking about Josh Allen and the supporting cast and where it ranks in the NFL.
Okay. Good question.
We were talking about. I think the conversation was, is he in the top 10 worst supporting cast? And this was skill positions only, not offensive line included, which obviously changed it a bit.
Because offensive line, he's got one of the best.
Exactly. So we basically said, find 10 teams with worse supporting casts. Is essentially what we did.
Yeah. So I'd say Saints have worse. I think the Jets have worse. I think the Browns have worse. I think the Raiders have worse. I think the Titans have worse. Sorry, I don't know about the Giants. I don't know if you can count Malik Neighbors as... No, I'm not including the Giants. Cardinals, no. Trey McBride and Marvin Harrison, no. Oh, this is tough,
because this is the thing. So when we first did it, I was very much, I mean, absolutely, like the Bills aren't that bad, and I still don't think they're that bad, but I think there's a lot of teams they're on middle ground with. So we're like the Patriots. So how would you compare the Patriots?
I'd say the Patriots have got worse than what the Buffalo Bills are.
So would I. Yeah.
So that's why I'm on 7.
The Steelers.
Steelers 8.
Yep.
Jags.
Yeah, the Jags.
I'm not having Brian Thomas.
Panthers was another one. I can't remember if you said the Panthers already.
No, I didn't say the Panthers. So that's 10.
But one of the things we made...
They're not in the bottom 10.
Yeah, so one of the points we were making was James Cook is outstanding, obviously. And they run the ball so well. They're one of the best run.
You know what? I did all of that forgetting about the running backs. Receivers, tight ends.
Well, this is the thing. Like James Cook brings so much value. Outside of that, me personally, I'm a big Khalil Shakir fan. I think he's awesome. I think Dalton Kincaid's fantastic.
I think their tight end room's phenomenal.
Yeah, their tight end room's one of the best in the league. And you kind of have to go into that tight end depth. I mean, it's funny, when we were talking about the Panthers, one of the things I said was that Jackson Hawes would be the tight end one on the Panthers when you think about it.
Probably would be.
But I think it was quite interesting because the Bills, it's not like they haven't invested. We're talking about 2 first-round picks. Kincaid was a first-rounder, wasn't he?
Yes, Dalton Kincaid was.
Yeah, between him and Keon Coleman, we're talking about 2 first-rounders that were on that offense. They've invested in free agents, Joshua Palmer, obviously. So,
Keon Coleman don't play, so you can't count him.
Yeah.
He's too busy.
Is this his first or second week where he was?
I think it's like 3 in a row, mate. Honestly,
is it 3 now?
Many, yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you've got Josh Palmer as your wide receiver 2 at the moment, and he had one of the most brutal drops on 3rd down at the start of the game, where I was like, "Oh, this is the way Bills are going to get back into it." And it was like a 3rd and 12, and it just goes right through his hands. I'm just thinking, oh my god. And I was like, "This is that." That's the division done. I was that adamant that the Patriots just going to run away with it, and with Trevor Henderson, I literally thought they were just running away with it. But that supporting cast is pretty rough. It really is.
I mean, even just looking at Josh Palmer's numbers, this is the worst year of his career so far. Like, even going back to his rookie season, he's currently on 288 yards off 31 catches. 31 targets, 19 catches, and he hasn't had a touchdown this season. He was a valuable part of the Chargers offense over the last 3 years. Like, he wasn't an outstanding receiver, but he popped up in moments. He was a field stretcher. He had these big plays. But we just haven't really seen it for the Bills, especially with Josh Allen's arm. And you can say that, the Bills are very much a short passing offense, aren't they? They really like these, get the ball out quick. You stretch the field horizontally.
Yeah.
Which I feel like almost doesn't suit Palmer, but they've just paid the money to bring him in. So they obviously have him in their plans. It just doesn't seem like he's...
Yeah, I don't know if it's just like an experience piece to bring in and help Keon Coleman, but Bills had Hard Knocks this year, didn't they? And I remember Josh Palmer being like he's featured quite heavily in that. So it's a bit weird why it just hasn't worked out. But especially you look at Josh Allen's career, and he's always had that big wide receiver 1, and you feel like they need it.
Well, they do, because let's be honest, he was not a good quarterback until Stephon Diggs came into Buffalo.
No.
And we saw the flashes, don't get me wrong, but Diggs was the start of this top 5 QB for Josh Allen. And we're still seeing him make these amazing plays and be that top 5 quarterback. But the fact of the matter is that a bona fide wide receiver 1 will elevate your team. And they hope to get it in Keon Coleman. It hasn't worked out. Whether they need to invest in a free agent, whether they need to take another spin of the first-round pick wheel, I don't know. But it's an interesting one to monitor, because I feel like they're going to have to go heavy on the receiver room this offseason.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see who they pick up. I'll quickly talk about Trevor Henderson.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that.
Before we move on, I love this bloke. He's so good. I mean, how much was I raving about him in this offseason, Sam? I was desperate for him to come to the Broncos. Obviously, I'm pretty happy with how RJ Harvey's playing, but I think in offensive rookie of the years, he shot to number 1.
Didn't he go to? Yeah, he went to favorite.
Yeah,
I think.
So it's like, oh wow, that's how good of a second half of the season this player's having.
It needs to be said that this guy, I can't remember if we actually said it or not. I don't think to put it as poorly as I can, I don't think I said it with chest. I don't think I really was firm on the matter, but I do remember mentioning, or I was having a discussion about whether he should be creeping into the first round, whether he should be valued a lot higher. I know there wasn't many running back targeting teams in that first round, but we kind of hoped that Henderson could sneak his way in, and seeing where he was at the at the top of the second, we're saying one of those guys has got to go and get him. Patriots made the right call with that one. We know he's a stud. He was unbelievable in college, and it almost feels like we kind of often see a trend where the rookies don't get used too much at the start of the season. And then as we get towards the playoffs, they start picking up. Especially you see it in fantasy football all the time,
Big time.
where you get these rookies come in and you draft them. And you draft them high in the early season, you're thinking, oh, God, what a waste of a pick. But then it gets to week 12, and you're thinking, okay, week 14, oh, wow. And then it's fantasy playoffs, and Trevor Henderson's getting you 30, 40 points. Like, this is what we're learning about these rookies, is that often they just need to get the ball rolling. And with Henderson, this is an unbelievable home run pick for the Patriots. He's going to be so valuable in the playoffs, not the fantasy playoffs, the NFL playoffs, where he's going to have to be, realistically, as a second round pick, first year player, he almost is the star of that offense.
He is.
He's the X factor.
I think he absolutely is. He is on a real shout to get 1,000 yards rushing this season. You know how crazy that is, considering he missed basically the first 6 games. He basically didn't take a snap for them.
Yeah.
I don't know what Vrabel was doing, but this guy could theoretically have 1,500 yards this season.
I mean, it wasn't until, what's that, week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it wasn't until week 8 we started seeing double-digit carries consistently. Week 3, he had 11 carries, but everything outside of that was single digits. Week 8, he's had 10. Since then, he's been in double digits for carries. Like you said, 773 yards rushing, another 212 receiving, so he's almost at 1,000 total yards, 8 touchdowns on the year. I mean, what else can you say about him? He's a playmaker. And I tell you what, Miles, when we come to our preseason predictions next year, how high are we willing to rank him? Are we willing to put him in as an offensive player of the year shout? Because you never know if he gets his touches.
When we talk about fantasy drafting as well, he could really be up there in the first and second rounds.
He'll be so hard to evaluate, because it's just like if he gets his touches, he's an RB1. He's the first running back in the league.
I mean, look how well he's done on fantasy the last couple of days. I think certainly what I was so high on him in the draft process was his receiving threat, but that's just gone out the window. And just look what he's doing on the ground and how efficient he's been. I mean, 2 touchdowns, obviously massive. Basically 150 yards, amazing. Also, credit Drake May for his downfield blocking. Basically sealed the touchdown for the long touchdown for Henderson as well. Did a phenomenal job with that. Let's rattle through some, Sam. Let's go. Commanders obviously beat the Giants 29-21. We had the Eagles shutting out the Raiders. Wasn't a shutout shield. No. I'm going to use that a lot now. Jags beat the Jets 48-20. Trevor Lawrence, 6 touchdowns.
He did the Clemson thing. He did the thing where he was from Clemson playing really well.
Showed he was really good. Shame it was against the worst team in the league. But yeah, it's nice to see Goldilocks actually do something this week. It's pretty good. That puts them, by the way, right in the hunt for the number 1 seed. They're the 2 games, because if they beat the Broncos, they were only 1 game out of it, and they'll have the head-to-head over the Broncos. It's cooking. The AFC's cooking.
I'm still not with it on the Jags. I'm still like, I don't know how to explain it. I said it, was it last week, 2 weeks ago? This doesn't feel like a 10-4 team. I feel like I'm just undervaluing them. This is entirely personal, that I've not seeing the Jags as this top playoff team.
Yeah,
because I think part of it probably being that I'm of the belief that the Texans are winning the division. So I think I'm just seeing the Jags as a wildcard team and a wildcard exit. But realistically, this is a sneaky good team that could really, find themselves picking up 1, maybe 2 playoff wins and surprising a lot of people.
I'd love it if they make as long as they make the playoffs, because I said they make the playoffs at the start of the year. That'd be really cool. It'd be really, really cool. They've got the Broncos, Colts, and Titans, so I think they've definitely won 2 of them.
2 of those, yeah, 100%.
It's just if they go and beat the Broncos to make it 3.
12 wins. Oh, you know what? As well, thanks for reminding me, Miles. I had a great stat for this about Liam Cohen.
Here we go.
Have I
Liam
got it?
Cohen stats. Okay.
Yeah. So, in fact, I think I know. I think
off the dome.
I think off the dome. Could be wrong. Oh, here it is.
Could be wrong.
Could be wrong. Or is it there? Oh, it's not there. Guess I didn't save it. Off the dome. Right. I believe Liam Cohen is already tied for 5th all time in coaching wins for the Jags. I think.
Well, he certainly beat
right.
Urban Meyer. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, he definitely did. I think that's the case. I swear I saved it. I don't know, but he's either tied or he's beaten him with the win this week.
So Jags says coaches. Here we go. Can I filter it by wins? Yeah, I can. He is. Yes, he's tied. He's tied fit. Wait, no.
Go on.
No, he's not.
What's he? One game behind? Is it next week he goes?
No,
fifth?
Gus Bradley has 14, and he's
Gus Bradley.
He's in 5th.
So
14.
So maybe
wins.
maybe it's by the end of the season. I can't remember, but he's 6th.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, he's 6th all time currently. But that's pretty good though. 6th all time.
If they were to win out and then get that win in the wild card round, if they're not the 1 seed, going to I don't know. I can't believe that he's. It just shows, I wasn't high on him as a head coaching candidate amongst the other guys like your Ben Johnsons and obviously Mike Vrabel coming into the Patriots, but he smashed it. The Jags look phenomenal, and the play design is fantastic. The Jags,
so good.
They look awesome. They, if Trev has more games like this, he'll start getting the respect he wants, and he we thought he would be getting out of college. And if ETN keeps, having hat tricks in the receiving game as well as running the ball so well, the Jags could be great. And still, without Travis Hunter, how he can impact the team next year, where this team goes going forward, I feel like they can still keep adding pieces. And, it's exciting to be a Jags fan.
It is. I'm just looking. I'm fascinated by these head coaching wins. I'm seeing. I forget how long Jack Del Rio was there. He got 68 wins. Doug Marrone got 23. Doug Peterson got 22.
Wow.
So realistically, not last though.
Is that right?
Yeah. Darrell Breville is last. He was the interim head coach after Urban Meyer. He won 1 game. Urban Meyer won 2.
Yeah, that was a bad season, wasn't it? Yeah. It's interesting. So based off what you're saying there, a good season from the Jags next year takes Liam Cohen, 2nd all time or 3rd all time?
Good season will beat Doug Peterson. Yeah, Peterson's on 22. So if he replicates this season, he could get above that, which would be pretty good. Let's talk about the Texans as we keep on the AFC South topic, Sam. Texans obviously have taken they've taken the AFC South title game. It will go down to a minimum of week 17. They've got a tougher schedule compared to the Jags, I think, going into it. They've still got to play the Colts as well.
So they got the Raiders, Chargers, Colts. It's at the Chargers Stadium as well, which isn't always an away game. We know what the LA Stadium likes to be like when we can get some decent traveling fans. But still going to be a tough one for them. I think the thing is that the Texans' offense is, I'm still not sold on it, but they've definitely been one of the, they've done well to improve this year. Especially the O-line is not quite as leaky as it was week 1.
And there's a different running back every week as well.
Yeah, there is. I mean, Woody Marks I think he's got a streak, which is I don't know if it was a record or not, but he's got a streak for games where he's left at some point with an injury.
Really?
Apparently. Off the top of my head, I think it was 13 weeks where he's left a game and then returned.
Yeah. You know next week that Dario Gabawale is going to lead this backfield. It's just going to be something different every week.
Yeah, absolutely. Because Jawar Jordan, we were watching the game and we were like looking at him like, who's that?
It's weird to seeing how. One, it just keeps defenses on their toes, and if they're all around the same ability-wise, like just keep swapping them around.
Yeah, rotate.
Like Wale's had has had some success in previous seasons, so I still feel like he'll be a feature in the offense. Woody Marks has obviously had a great start, and if this Jawar Jordan comes out of nowhere and turns out to be a success, keep running the ball with him. They just need as much help as possible running the ball. I know he played very well this week, but CJ Stroud, I'm still not fully convinced by him across the entire season. I think they still need help in that place. But hey, what are they on, like a 6 win streak now? Something like that? Something crazy?
It's got to be close to that, yeah. It is 6 wins. So, yeah. And some good teams in there as well. Jags, Titans, Bills, Colts, Chiefs, Cardinals.
You can see them winning out, put it that way.
Yeah, and this is what we said, wasn't it? We could see them winning out and getting themselves into the playoffs. Whether that's enough, winning out will get them into that taking the AFC South title, I don't know. But they're obviously riding the back of this incredible defense. They continue to make plays all over the field, but it's the fact that the offense is getting more consistent, which is what's so good for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's talk about the Broncos. Let's talk about the Broncos, Sam. Denver Broncos beat the Green Bay Packers 34-26. I know Micah Parsons got injured, but Bo Nix is a damn good quarterback. I tell you that for free, mate. 4 touchdowns, 300 yards. Say it louder.
This is the statement win the Broncos needed, isn't it?
This is really good.
I've been asking all year for the Broncos to play a tough team and look convincing with it. And this is probably I would say it's probably the best performance you've had all year. It was always going to be a tough game, not just the Packers defense, but the Packers offense, keeping them quiet. And I think, Jordan Love, 2 interceptions, Bo Nix on the other side, like you said, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, keeping it clean. RJ Harvey, I did not realize has on 10 touchdowns for the season. He's having a phenomenal year.
Yeah,
was he 4th round pick, was it?
Third round pick this year.
Second round pick.
Oh, second round pick, yeah, because Pat Bryant was the third round pick, yeah.
Right. But, great investment for that one. Because we knew we needed adding to that running back room, right? And obviously now J.K. Dobbins out, RJ Harvey's coming in and stepping up. You know who I'm impressed with is the amount of snaps that old Tyler Baday's getting.
Yeah,
I was really excited for him when the Ravens drafted him. I was really excited to see what he could do. And it seems like you love him in those pass down situations.
Yeah, third down, he always comes on for
pass
blocker.
Downs, and Sean Payton loves that, doesn't he? So
yeah,
it's nice to see. Cortland Sutton was fantastic. Troy Franklin had a great touchdown. Big Jordan Humphrey. I refuse to call him Lil Jordan Humphrey. He's too big for that.
Yeah,
had a lovely touchdown catch called Lil Jordan. But man, I don't know. I'm so impressed with this Denver team after this week that I can finally feel like that they're building at the right time, aren't they?
Absolutely. I think if you're starting to put things together, especially against tougher teams right at the end of the season, it builds hope for the playoff season. That's what I'm excited for. This was by far Bo Nix's best performance of his career. You go for 300 yards against a very strong defense and carry your team to beat one of the best teams in the NFC. You've done a great job there. His throw to the touchdown throw to Troy Franklin. It was a scissors concept against cover 2 invert. Don't run cover 2 invert against Bo Nix. That's when he plays really well. It was last year the long touchdown to Marvin Mims. That was also against cover 2 invert. Did the same again. Great throw, finding the space in the zone to get the ball to Troy Franklin. He was so good there. Pat Surtain's pick as well was one of the most athletic plays of a DB I've ever seen. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, and it's nice to see him. He left the game for a little bit, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So it's nice to see him come back in and make that play. On the Bo Nix front, he's not going to get there, but still 4th in the MVP rankings at the moment is what I'm seeing, which is nice to see him recognize that high up for the season he's having. And yeah, just like you say, the Broncos making plays all over the field. Jordan Love was under pressure all the time because of the pass rush. Dre Greenlaw, flying about.
Hufanga as well, it was amazing.
Yeah.
Speaking of pressure on Jordan Love, Zach Allen has broken his record from last year for quarterback hits already. He's already got more than 40 this season. That's how good of a season he's having.
Do you know what as well? Is I think I'd love to see the analytics over it, but having that many quarterback hits, we're talking about 6 QB hits this week. Having that, but also not committing penalties, not committing roughing the passer penalties, being so disciplined with when he can, timing the hits well enough that he's not costing his team yards, which I think is an even bigger skill than the QB hits. Being able to do that, remain disciplined on that. I think he's a phenomenal player. Zach Allen is someone who just doesn't get enough credit for where he ranks league wide as a defensive lineman.
Oh, he's so good, and I never really appreciated it at the start of when he first joined, that 2023 season. Obviously, we were just terrible. But then the 2024 season, you see his impact, and then going into this year, obviously the edge rushers are going to get the credit, but how impactful he is in the pass game, just creating that interior pressure, he is phenomenal with that. But it makes the Broncos technically tied, or they clinched playoff first. They beat the Rams to clinching the first playoff spot because their game finished before them. But that's the only reason why. We'll actually move on to the Rams because he started off shaky for them. Aiden Hutchinson started the game off hot. I really thought, wow, this could be, the upset win. But the Rams saw it out, didn't they?
Can I just jump in on the Hutchinson pick?
Go for it.
If you're out in front of everyone, just head forward and go, man.
Go.
You could see him. You could see how he was breaking stride, just trying to check and see where the defender was. Just head down, knees up. You know what I mean? Just getting sprinters for him.
Do you think this might sound crazy, but do you think the modernized stadiums are they're hindering the efficiency of breakaway runners in the NFL? Because normally they look at the big screen at the end of the stadium,
right?
But now, especially SoFi, it's got the circle one. So by the time that he'd made it by about the 30-yard line, he couldn't see how close the defender was because he wasn't looking at the screen. So whereas you look at, I don't know, for example, Mile High, it's got that massive screen one end. So right, I'm running towards the screen. I can see how far back they are because you see so many players looking up as they're running for it. Whereas Aiden Hutchinson, especially this week, was like just constantly turning his head. I definitely think that's coming as part of an impact for runners getting chased down.
It's such a weird little niche aspect, but it's very true. It's very true. These are the things we pick up on FDT. Like you said, Lions, they were out the gates fantastic, but the Rams, huge third quarter, 17-0 in the third quarter, making the difference. Kyron Williams has been running the ball really effectively again, but Blake Corum has seen a rise this season, and we were worried. We were kind of writing him off at the end of last year. Even at the start of this year, we weren't really seeing anything out of him, but the explosive plays from him have been phenomenal. He's really been showing that ability to have these breakaway runs. And then you obviously get into the receiver game. It's Puka Nacua just leading the line again. We're now worried though. Devontae Adams, I can't lie, I'm not seeing him coming back.
I know,
for whether it's back for the whole season, whether it's just the regular season. But that was a hammy injury. It's a bad hammy injury. He's obviously not going to be available Thursday night to play the Seahawks, which is their biggest game of the year going into the playoffs. I don't know. I'm worried.
It also is Puka's back injury as well. I mean, that's something to keep an eye out as well. You could go into that Seahawks game without both your starting receivers, and that's quite worrying. I love that how he spoke, was it like 2 weeks ago, about Devontae Adams breaking or getting close to Randy Moss's touchdown record, and then instantly gets injured the week after.
Dude.
You've turned into a bit of a curse, Sam, recently. This needs to also be said.
I talked him up so much. He had was it like 14 touchdowns in 8 games or something like that.
Crazy.
And then I commented on it. He's had 0 touchdowns in 2 games. He got injured and probably going to miss the rest of the season.
It's the same with, what was it? Last week we said the Panthers were going to do really well. They ended up losing. The week before
I can't believe how excited I was with the Panthers. I talked about the Rams. The Rams lost to the Panthers. So I talked about the Panthers. The Panthers lost to the Saints.
It's been a weird curse you've been causing. I don't know who it's going to be this week. But I kind of want to talk on Matthew Stafford because I feel like this performance solidified him as the MVP. Now, is there a scenario where let's say the Rams lose out and only just scrape the playoffs? Do you still think Matthew Stafford would still win MVP? Or do you think?
Let me just jump back on the odds
jump back on the odds. Yeah.
So this is an American format, DraftKings. They've got Stafford at -300, Drake May at +425, Josh Allen at +550. So Stafford, not runaway favorite, definitely favorite, and we see these odds shift big time when there's a game that tells it to shift. Like Josh Allen this week was given huge bumps in the in the odds after this week. I think if Stafford was to lose out, it would then be in contention. I think it then depends on how he plays in those games. If he's doing everything he can to win those games, and maybe the defense loses it or what. That's when I think we'd see him get let off the hook. But they like to look at team wins, don't they? They like to see who's the most successful team.
They do.
So that's where you look at Drake May and Josh Allen, who's going to be the one seed. If the Rams were to drop off, we're talking about the Seahawks this week. If they lose the Seahawks, they've got the Falcons and Cardinals to end the season. Realistically, they shouldn't be losing those games. But if we are saying a hypothetical where they lose, 2 out of the last 3, losing to the Falcons or Cardinals is going to hurt your MVP stock. That's
absolutely
sure.
will. I think, imagine this scenario where both the Rams and the Patriots, like, they fall off. It's. I feel like they just banker for Josh Allen to win it. Then I feel like if it's just the Rams and let's say the Patriots won, I just feel like Vegas wouldn't change the odds as much for Drake May. I know that's just it's just like superstar stereotyping basically, where Josh Allen's always going to be up there, whereas Drake May and Matthew Stafford aren't going to be up there as much. So I'd love to see a rogue MVP. I think, like, going back through it and just seeing like Matt Ryan's name, and I just think like Rich Gannon in 2002. I think that's so good, and I feel like Matthew Stafford would actually come into that conversation because they've only won one, and they probably will never win another one. So I think that'd be really cool to have Matt Stafford in that conversation. But obviously he's had a lot better career than them too. Before I get clipped and all that,
I do I do want Stafford to win this MVP because I feel like Drake May and Josh Allen will have the opportunities in the rest of their career. This does feel like it almost feels like the last dance for Stafford. We don't know what he's doing, whether he's going to ride off into the sunset. We can see Stafford MVP, Rams Super Bowl, Stafford retires. That's like the kind of way that we want it to end. From his standpoint, but this is going to be his best. This is an all-time career year for him, like, basically, isn't it? Amongst his entire career, where he was putting up insane numbers in Detroit, obviously not really winning games, but putting up the numbers because he was having to throw the ball so much. Efficiency-wise, this has just been an unbelievable year.
He's been so good. He's been so good.
I mean, even now, just going through his season totals, I think this is his third best year for touchdowns thrown, and we're looking at best ever record for interceptions currently, because in 2019 he only had 5 interceptions as well, but he only played 8 games that year. So if he doesn't throw another pick for the rest of the year, this would be his joint lowest tally, ignoring 2010 when he only played 3 games. So, for a full season, this would be, efficiency-wise, his best season. Obviously, doesn't have the yardage, but there's no Calvin Johnson. We know it's Puka Nacua, but there's no Calvin Johnson to throw prayers up to. He obviously had the 5,000-yard season. But, the point being that at the age of 37, these are incredible numbers, and rewarding with the MVP.
He's done so good. I'd love him to win it. Conscious of time, let's rattle through some. Saints beat the Panthers 20-17. Tyler Shuck's the answer. He is the answer. They have their quarterback. He's playing very well, but give him some credit. Bryce Young, you got 3 attempts to see out the game. You can't do it. Questions needs to be raised. Niners comfortably beat the Titans. The scoreline makes it look better. Titans clawed it back right at the end. Colts, Phillip Rivers was so close to getting his return win. It would have been a fairy tale story. I would have loved it. How funny was it seeing him out there at times?
So I have to say, Miles, like, a lot of people clown on the arm strength,
drop back,
the drop back. Yeah, he can't do a 7-step drop. And you look at the box score and you're saying 120 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick.
Don't look at that.
Just cover the box score, Miles. This is one of the most impressive quarterback performances I've seen, and I know that sounds stupid.
It's
but
so good. You've come off the couch.
Joined the team 2-3 days ago, or 2-3 days before playing against a top 5 defense, and I know we're pressed for time. I need to get into this really quick because this has to be discussed. Right? Does this just speak to the idea of a quarterback? The smarts of a quarterback being more important than the physicals of a quarterback. Because if we can take, like we say, Anthony Richardson, God-given physical traits, unbelievable arm, speed, toughness, blah, 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 blah. But if you put him against the Seahawks, who's throwing 5 picks, 3 fumbles, it's going to be horrendous.
But did get medically cleared this week.
Did he? Oh, there we go. But if we take Phillip Rivers, who is 44, he looks like your out of shape uncle at the cookout. He's like, he's literally, you look at him, he's walking around pre-game with the card and he looks like an offensive coordinator. Is the comparison that I was seeing. And he comes in, and no, he's not putting up insane stats, but he's finding the open guy.
Mm.
He's moving the ball. He's doing what he's been a good game manager, throwing a touchdown. What was it? 1,800 days after his last game.
Great celebration. Just loads of fist bumps.
Yeah, and the thing is this isn't even coming from a place of bias, because if I'm honest, I don't like Philip Rivers. I never really liked Philip Rivers when he was at the Chargers.
He had a weird throw motion.
Could respect the game, but wasn't really a big Philip Rivers fan. And watching this with the Colts, I was just starstruck at how, at his age, taking this long out of the game, how he just, and it helps. He's played so many games. He's got the brain for it. He could click back in. Also, we're hearing about how acquainted he was with Shane Steichen and going through the offense. But yeah, my big thing is, how important is it to be smart as a quarterback?
Absolutely. Experience goes such a long way, and that's paid dividends this week by bringing him back in. Obviously, familiar with Steichen's offense, like you said. He's been running that with his high school team, which I think is fantastic, just using that. Yeah. He's done a great job. I'm excited to see the Colts next week.
Absolutely.
9 gets his third career win for the Vikings, 34-26 against the Cowboys. Really good. Hey, 9 played well. Happy with how he played. Got a bit of the commentators' curse. They were praising him for not throwing a pick last week and instantly threw a pick, but it was the biggest deflection ever. And finally, the Steelers beat the Dolphins 28-15. I want to shout out, I think it's Dan Knows NFL on TikTok. He put a great video out. The fact that the Steelers have they run the offense like Tony Pulis with Stoke by just shoving the biggest men in the backfield and running the ball. What was it, like Connor Hayward and Jonnu Smith getting rushing touchdowns? It's such a comical offense to watch, but they do it so well. Just run the ball, and they're succeeding so well. They're doing a great job with it.
That's such a great comparison. I'd love to see an American not familiar with the Premier League try and decipher that one.
Like, who's Tony Pulis?
Yeah. I've got 2 great stats to come out of that game which is just so Steelers and so Mike Tomlin. First of all, they've made it 64 straight games under Mike Tomlin with 7 points or less in the first quarter. They got 0 against the Dolphins, 2 possessions, 2 punts. But it was also their 22nd straight home win on Monday Night Football.
Yeah, it's
the last home loss on Monday Night Football was in 1991, which is just so very Steelers. And I've got to say, Miles, the thing about the Steelers this year is what we're noticing is that they're clicking at the right time. Aaron Rodgers looks like the best quarterback in the league. DK Metcalf has been a phenomenal receiver. The defense is top 3, and hopefully with that, I've cursed them enough that they won't
keep
get
going.
themselves
Just say
into
it
the
a bit
playoffs.
More for you. No.
Running back Kenneth Gainwell, is unbelievable. I can't say enough about Jonnu Smith. Chris Boswell's the best kicker I've ever seen. Patrick Queen. I can't talk about
the Steelers do it every single year. Every single year, towards the end of the season, they start clicking. And we say at the start, this Steelers team are never going to have a winning season. They never do. God. But the streak will continue. They'll end up with 9 wins, and they'll end up with another winning season under their belt. Credit to Mike Tomlin.
Yeah, it's as much as Steelers fans want to move on, Steelers and Ravens live the same lives, man. They want to get rid of their head coach because they think the grass is greener on the other side. But sometimes you've got to appreciate what you've got. And I know how self-aware that comment is with how I've been talking about John Harbaugh recently. But the point being, the Steelers are the best team in the league, and I hope that's enough to curse them into not winning. I
think you've done a good job there,
season. I've tried my best. I've tried my best.
Right, let's rattle through predictions for this week, Sam. First game, Rams Seahawks in Seattle. Who you got?
I love the Rams, but I've picked Seahawks to win this division. I don't know. They didn't.
I think the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks win this. I do. I just think those 2 injuries at wide receiver are going to be too much for the Rams to get the win. But results still could go the Rams' way. There's still a chance that they could win the division.
I feel like I'm going to contradict myself, but I'm going to say the Rams.
You're going to say the Rams. I'm sticking with the Seahawks. We've got 2 Saturday night games. Pretty good. Eagles Commanders to start us off at 10 o'clock British time. That is. Eagles. I think this will be closer than many people expect it. I'm really tempted to take the Commanders here. I think I am. I think I'm actually going to say
really. Yeah,
I really am. Yeah.
Marcus
Eagles
Mariota
have been struggling. I know they obviously beat. I mean, the Raiders were terrible. Marcus Mariota, by the way, has been playing really good football.
Yes,
really good football. I'm going to take the Commanders.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Eagles, but I love that you've backed them because, like you say, they were on such a long losing streak, but it felt unfair to them because they were still playing well in these games. They just weren't getting it done.
I'd love to know what the spread is. I'm going to try and quickly find it to see if there have been if it's like dramatically one-sided. because if so, it might be something I might be looking at on a Saturday night. Let's see. It is. It's only -6.5. I thought it'd be way more. Packers Bears. Oh, that's we got. Oh, I've got to stay up late for that. My God.
Yeah.
It's 1 a.m. on Saturday night for us, Sam. Who are you taking here? Packers 1-point favorites in Soldier Field.
I can't believe I'm saying it. I'm going to take the Bears just because that Micah Parsons injury, that's going to shake things up. It has to be said. And I think they'll rally around it. I think the team will come together and we'll still see a good performance from the Packers defense. But I think it's going to shift the scales for Chicago a little bit. It is funny now that I think about it. I picked the Seahawks and Packers to win their divisions, but I've got both losing the pivotal games.
I've picked the Packers to win the division.
That was last week. This is this week. That's what I'm going to say.
Okay. Bills Browns, Sam. Bills to win.
You're picking the Packers to win.
Pick the Packers to win. Yeah. Pick the Packers.
Right. Yeah.
Bills Browns.
Bills win this. Yeah.
Bills win this. Absolutely. Chargers Cowboys.
Chargers.
Chiefs Titans. Interesting. Cam Ward.
Oh, give me Cam Ward.
Give me Cam Ward and the Titans. They haven't won a home game all year.
This is going to be. I'll tell you what. Chiefs have only won one away from home, so this is an interesting. This is great.
I'm going
Chiefs.
I'm going Titans. I don't care.
Love it.
Bengals Dolphins. What's this? Chiefs only 3-point favorites.
Bengals bounce back.
Dolphins win this. They are out of the playoffs. Yeah, with that loss, they're out of the playoffs. Jets Saints. Wow, Saints rolling.
Lovely little game that. Yeah, Tyler
Saints
Shuck.
rolling. What a player, Tyler Shuck. Giants Vikings.
Got to be the Vikings.
Yeah, Vikings. Giants are terrible.
Yeah, but the Vikings are like one of those teams where they look great last week and then they just go and throw it all away this
Giants
week.
Terrible.
Yeah, you've got
they've got 2 wins all season, mate. Bucks Panthers. Here we go. Tasty one. Give me.
And you know what?
Carolina.
Both teams in terrible form coming into this, right? Yeah, like if we're being for real, there's no
makes
team
it good though. Makes it a good game.
Exactly. We're going to see who can, reverse their fate. I'm going to go. Ooh, is JC Horn healthy now?
I think so. And Dowdle's going to get 1,000 yards this week, which would be pretty cool.
Okay, go on then. I'll go with the Panthers.
Broncos Jags.
What a game! This will be a good one.
Big game.
I'm going to go Denver.
I'm picking us for the rest of the year. Give me the Broncos. Falcons Cardinals. Give me the Falcons.
Yeah, Falcons.
Steelers Lions in Detroit.
The fact that these two are on the same record is me to the game of football. Give me Detroit.
Detroit as well. Raiders Texans. Give me the Texans.
God, this could this be 2 straight weeks with shutouts?
Do you want to double down on the shutout shield?
Yes, we'll have a shutout shield. I'll tell you what, will I get 2 points if I can predict that?
That'd be awesome. That'd be really cool. Ravens Patriots. Here we go. Tasty one on Sunday night. Give me Baltimore Ravens to win this one.
Yeah?
Give me the Baltimore Ravens. They need it for the division. Patriots have now... the Patriots need it for the division as well. Oh, man. It's in Baltimore. It's in Baltimore.
Need it really bad. It's in Baltimore. Hasn't made much of a difference this year though. 3-5 in Baltimore, which is felt like we're usually quite a good home team, and the Patriots are 6-0 while traveling. So I'm going to pretend I'm not wearing this jersey, and I'm going to say the Patriots are winning this.
You better take that off quick then. You're going to get slated for that. Finally, Niners Colts.
I'm hoping I curse it, Miles. That's why. I'll go with the Niners on Monday Night Football.
Give me Phillip Rivers to get his first win back. That'd be so good. Random touchdown scorer of the week. And no, you can't have a Phillip Rivers rushing one because that's not happening. Give me a Tyler Shuck rushing touchdown, please.
Okay, like it.
Tyler Shuck to get in the end zone.
Okay, can I stick with on the quarterback train and go with Gardner Minshew?
Oh, that's way better than what I just said. Yeah,
Minshew mania. That's
good. That's a nice one to end it on, Sam. Make sure you're following us on all of our socials, FDT_podcast. But comment as well. We need to know if you liked last week's format or this week's format. Let us know. And we'll see you all for next week's episode, week 16. Bye.